You're not afraid of failure. You're afraid of being average. Let's stop pretending. You're not avoiding that thing because you might fail. You're avoiding it because you might succeed just a little bit and realize that a little bit is all you've got. The fantasy you're protecting isn't about being capable. It's about being special. And the moment you actually try, you risk discovering that you're exactly as ordinary as everyone else. That's what keeps you frozen. Not the fear of falling short. The fear of reaching your ceiling and finding out it's lower than you told yourself. As long as you don't try, you get to keep the fantasy alive, that if conditions were perfect, you'd be exceptional. But trying risks proves you're not. And if you're average, what was the point of all that potential you've been carrying around? Notice how elaborate your reasons have become? I need to research more. The timing isn't optimal. I want to make sure I do it right. You've built an entire architecture of justification. A beautiful, logical fortress where nothing ever has to happen. And the sickest part? You're proud of how reasonable it all sounds. You've convinced yourself that overthinking is preparation, that analysis is progress, that reading about something is almost the same as doing it. It's not. You're not being strategic. You're being a coward with a thesaurus. That's why you keep looking for more content like this, more videos, more books, more podcasts about getting started. Because consuming content about doing things feels like doing things. You get to feel productive without ever being vulnerable. There is no right time. There's no moment where the fear dissolves and clarity arrives, and you suddenly transform into someone who just does things. That moment is a lie you tell yourself to make waiting feel temporary instead of permanent. You think you're postponing. You're not. You're choosing. Every single day you don't act is a day you choose comfort over growth. Not because you were weak, because you were smart enough to convince yourself that waiting was wisdom. Here's what's actually happening. Your brain sees the discomfort of action and the relief of avoidance, and it picks the relief every single time. Not because it's good for you, because it's easier. And then it invents a story to make that choice sound sophisticated. I'm being patient. I'm being thoughtful. I'm waiting for the right conditions. No, you're just uncomfortable and you're choosing to stay that way. The story is just so you don't have to admit it. Every time you choose avoidance, you make it easier to choose again. You're training yourself, teaching your nervous system that retreat works. So next time, the fear shows up faster, stronger, with better arguments. Not because the situation is more dangerous, but because you've proven that fear works. You love your potential. You love it because it requires nothing. Potential is perfect. Potential never disappoints. Potential never proves you wrong. As long as you keep your dreams theoretical, they stay flawless. The moment you make them real, they become messy, incomplete, human, and you can't stomach that. So you keep them in your head where they're safe, where you can be the hero of a story that never needs an ending. This is the most expensive form of comfort you can buy, because every day you spend protecting your potential is a day you're not developing your actual abilities. You don't want feedback. You want certainty. You want to know you'll succeed before you start. And that's not how any of this works. You're watching this because part of you knows. You know you've been lying to yourself. You know the excuses are excuses. You know that if you were going to do it when you're ready, you would have done it already. But here's the part that should actually terrify you. You're hoping this video will be the thing that changes you, that hearing the right words will somehow rewire your nervous system. That insight will replace action. It won't. You've watched 100 videos like this. You've had 100 moments of clarity, and you're still exactly where you were. Because knowing what to do is not the same as doing it. Information is not transformation. Understanding is not action. You're using learning as a substitute for doing, using education as a form of procrastination. And it feels productive enough that you don't notice you're still standing still. Stop waiting to feel different. You will never feel ready. You will never feel confident. The people you admire who seem to just execute, they feel the same fear you do. They just don't negotiate with it. The only thing that changes is this. You either decide that discomfort is the price of aliveness, or you don't. You either move while afraid, or you don't. You either start before you're ready, or you don't start at all. There is no secret. There is no hack. The discomfort is not a sign you're doing it wrong. The discomfort is the price of admission. Every day you wait is a day you could have been learning. Every week you delay is a week someone else is getting the practice you need. Every year you spend planning is a year you're not becoming the person who can actually do the thing. You think you're preserving your potential by not wasting it on a bad attempt. You're not. You're letting it rot from disuse. Potential that never becomes action isn't potential. It's just regret with better marketing. There's always going to be a reason to wait. There's always going to be something you could learn first. And if you keep listening to that voice, you will wait forever. There's always going to be something you could learn first. And if you keep listening to that voice, you will wait forever. You have two options. Option one, you close this video, feel briefly motivated, then do exactly what you've always done. You'll return to your carefully constructed reasons. You'll tell yourself, tomorrow will be different. It won't be. Tomorrow, you'll have the same fear with a different excuse. Until eventually, you stop even feeling the motivation. The fear isn't about doing the thing anymore. The fear is about being the kind of person who never does the things they say they will. That's where this path leads. To a quiet resignation. To a life where you've learned to be comfortable with disappointment. Option two, you do the thing you've been avoiding within the next 24 hours. Not perfectly, not when you feel like it, not after one more day of preparation. Just badly, just scared, just enough to prove to yourself that fear was lying. And something changes. Not because you suddenly become confident, but because you prove to yourself that you can act without confidence, that you can move without certainty, that you can start without knowing how it ends. Because here's the only real truth about fear. It never survives contact with action. The moment you move, the story collapses. Not because you stop feeling afraid, because you realize that feeling afraid and moving anyway is the entire point. You're not going to do it, are you? You're going to close this video, feel something, and then file it away with all the other moments of temporary conviction. And in 6 months, or a year, maybe 5 years, you're going to watch something else just like this. And you're going to feel the same thing, and nothing will change. Because motivation without action is just entertainment, and you've been entertained for long enough. Unless you decide that this is the last time you let fear win by disguising itself as reason, unless you decide that today, imperfect, unprepared, and afraid, is the day you stop negotiating with your own life. The clock is running. It has always been running. And the thing you're most afraid of? It's not that you'll try and fail. It's that you'll never try at all. And one day, you'll realize you can't get the time back. That you spent years protecting potential. That you never turned into anything real. That you were so afraid of being average that you never gave yourself the chance to be anything at all. That's what should shock you. Not this video, not the words. The fact that you already knew all of this and you're still not moving. The fact that some part of you has known for months, maybe years, exactly what you need to do. And you're still finding reasons not to do it. That's the real shock. Not that fear is stopping you, but you're letting it too.